Author's POV. It's 3 a.m. Only dead silence can be heard all around the Jeon mansion. JUNGKOOK's bedroom. JUNGKOOK just came out of the shower wearing a big bathrobe and went towards his bed and lay down there and closed his eyes trying to sleep. But he wasn't able to sleep for a minute as Wyan's face was coming in front of his eyes whenever he tried to close his eyes. And after trying so many times, he sat up on his bed. JUNGKOOK's POV. I whisper, "Why are you coming again and again in front of my eyes, and now I can't control myself? I think I should let you sleep properly after yesterday's event when I leave your room, but I can't sleep without holding you in my arms anymore." Baby girl. It's 3:30 a.m. at midnight. He is standing near her bed, looking at her peaceful, sleeping face. And in the next second, he put a handkerchief on her nose which contains sleeping drugs, and then he tucked her with a bed sheet because he doesn't want her to wake up and see him beside her and screams her lungs out. He lay beside her and looked at whole night till morning at 7 a.m. and then he kissed her forehead and left form there. Wyan's POV. It's 8 a.m. in the morning when I wake up. My head is in pain like hell. Why is my head pain so much? And my body is aching too, like something heavy is hovering on me. What is happening? Thinking that, I get up from the bed and open a little cabinet beside my bed and take out a pouch of painkillers and gulp it down. After that, my eyes got stuck from the clock at it showing 8:15, and I became shocked. I was late for my work. I rushed towards the bathroom and came out after 5 minutes wearing my servant uniform and looks in the mirror. My eyes are swollen and little red, but I avoid them and put a lip balm on my lips as I lost all the interest in makeup or anything after my mom's accident, as the responsibility weight is on my shoulders now, thinking that I headed downstairs. End of Wyan's POV. It's 8:35. Only 15 minutes are left in JUNGKOOK awake. She quickly cuts all the vegetables which are needed in his food and prepares for dinner, and she looks at the time as it's over already. Wyan cleaned her hands and took a deep breath and headed towards his room. Wyan knocked a little and enter inside his bedroom. He knows Wyan come in as he awake for some time, but acting as he wants Wyan to wake him up. She called him, but he didn't open his eyes. Then Wyan touched his bare back a little and shook him. Then JUNGKOOK's eyes got open as he got current by Wyan's little touch, and after that Wyan greeted him in her sweet voice. G. Good morning, ma, master. JUNGKOOK nodded his head and took a shower, and then he came back and saw all things are prepared. Then he gave her his tie, saying, "I hope you remember how to tie." Wyan replied, "Why? Yes, ma, master." Today JUNGKOOK didn't bend down to her level. She is tiptoeing to reach his level. Then suddenly JUNGKOOK did something unexpected. He picked Wyan up from her waist till the height level was the same as JUNGKOOK's height, and then said, "Now do it." In shock, Wyan's breath got stuck in her throat and her body shivering. JUNGKOOK's breath is hitting her neck again and again. Observing her body shivering, JUNGKOOK said, "Stop shivering, I won't eat you." Wyan stopped her movement and looked at him, who was looking deeply in her eye. Avoiding his eyes, Wyan put the tie around his neck, and JUNGKOOK pulled Wyan more closer, and now there is no gap between their bodies. His inner beast is getting calm by just touching her little. In another second, Wyan spoke, "I am done, Ma Master." But Jungkook replied saying, "But I am not done saying that." He started touching her cheeks with the other hand. Then his phone started ringing and he put her down, and Wyan ran from there. Jungkook didn't want Wyan to go away from him like this. He got angry and picked up the call and spoke angrily, "What the foo, you're okay, you want? Easton B. Boss O. Re. Enemy escaped." Jungkook smirked hearing him and said, "Yes, then find them in 2 hours and less. Be ready for consequences." Saying that, he cut the call. Wyan get into the kitchen breathing heavily as she running all the way here from Jungkook's room, and she put her hand on her chest to calm herself down. She is out of breath and breathing heavily, and now become more scared from him. Her eyes got teary thinking how Jungkook touched her, and she can't do anything to protect herself because she is just one of the Maid of him. Wyan is too sensitive to all this, but she is having a self-respect. In her perspective, she is just a simple, loving, kind-hearted girl who respects everyone and only wants people to respect her the way she respects everyone. It's her dream to marry a simple guy who love her and earn money, and she also support him financially and emotionally. She doesn't think in her worst nightmare to always become a maid, the Mafia's maid. Sometime Jungkook came to the dining area and did his breakfast. As her toe is still in bandage, he spoke, "I will eat lunch outside with my members, you don't need to be there." Saying that, he left from his office. After she did her breakfast, she went to his room to clean it. Wyan is cleaning his room. Suddenly, her injured toe was again hit by the corner of his bed, and Wyan was trying to hold something for support, but then a photo frame fell from the nightstand, and her eyes got widened because it was his watch, and it looked very expensive. But Wyan thinks that he had his watch on his wrist when he was eating his breakfast, so maybe it's his another watch, but still it's expensive, and what about it got broken? Thinking all this, she placed her hand on her mouth. She picked it, and the watch got totally broken, and Wyan's eyes got teary, not because she made a mistake, but what he will do with her, as the head maid already told her that her master doesn't like mistakes and lies. Wyan's POV. Thinking what the master was going to do to her. She was shaking in fear, and said to herself, "IW will tell why young ma, master by me, myself be, before he sees this." 11 p.m. Night time. It's 11 p.m. and Wyan is waiting for Jungkook while rubbing her arms as she is sleepy and tired, but still waiting for him. Then she heard the car honk sound, and after some minute, loud and dangerous footsteps can be heard from the living room, and no doubt it's the devil himself. He came inside the living room and collapsed on the sofa and started stretching his body to relax his muscles. Wyan got up from the dining chair and came towards him, and in her sweet voice, she said, "W. Water, ma, master." Jungkook looks at her from head to toe. She is looking more scared than usual, and the hand which is holding the glass of water is also shaking. He grabs the glass from her hand, still looking at her, and gulps it down in one go. Then his phone rang, and he took it without looking at the caller ID. He stayed silent for a few seconds, and then he spoke while smirking, Put that M at teach pound if you're okay pound R in the basement. I will deal with him myself. He cut the call and saw Wyan still looking down while standing there. Then he spoke, arrange my dinner. I will come after freshening up, saying that he left from there and go towards his room. After Wyan prepared the table, JUNGKOOK came there and started eating. Then she spoke, Mom, Master. He stopped eating and focused on her because it was the first time she called him by herself. He looked at her and said, yes, I'm listening. Wyan is very afraid to say anything, but she takes a deep breath and says with her shaky voice, I'm so sorry, Ma. Master, I was cleaning your room and AC. Accidentally, your watch got broken by me, but I didn't do it on purpose. PL, please, Ma. Master, forgive me. After listening her, JUNGKOOK stood up from his seat and took one step closer to her. Wyan's heart started beating like a bullet train as JUNGKOOK took steps closer to her, and she was taking a step backwards, and abruptly in her shaking voice she said, I'm so sorry, Ma. Master. Saying this, all she's doing is taking a step backwards and getting stuck to the kitchen counter. JUNGKOOK observed her moves and a devilish smirk plaster on his face, and he said, now or will you run, my little warrior? Huh. Wyan is looking down all the time thinking he's gonna kill her, and now she will never see her mother again. JUNGKOOK comes closer to her, not letting even an air come between them, and says in his deep voice while looking at her, look at me. Wyan immediately looked at his shining black, dangerous, ominous eyes who have the power to hypnotize anyone. But Wyan looked down then, he said, raising his one eyebrows, and said, what happened? Don't you need my forgiveness now? Huh. Wyan nodded in response, then JUNGKOOK wiped her tears, making her flinch. Then he went closer to her, bent to her level, and Wyan hands got together in her chest in fear. Then JUNGKOOK whispered, don't worry, I won't punish you for that mere watch. Wyan's eyes opened wide when, after listening to his words, then JUNGKOOK pulled closer to him by touching her waist, and Wyan started crying. He tugged her hair behind her back and rubbed her lower lip, whispering, but I have to punish you for awakening my inner beast. And now more tears are streaming down her face while listening to his words. She is shivering in fear as she said, I'm so sorry, Mom. Master PL. Please, L. Leave me. JUNGKOOK said while wiping her tears, my little flower, why are you crying? Your master is already forgiving you. Wyan is holding her breath, then he removed his hand from her waist, and in second as JUNGKOOK left her waist, Wyan ran from there. JUNGKOOK smirked, looking at her how she is running away from him, and he dangerously licked his thumb, which he rubbed on her lips. It's like if she and his for some second more he would eat her surely. JUNGKOOK looking at her running figure creepily while licking his lips again and said, my little flower, run and hide from me as much as you can, but I never let you go away from, because I'm a beast and you are my beauty. Saying that, he started laughing like a maniac.